Yeah, hello, welcome, Twitch chat, YouTube. It's Wednesday night. It means Mythic Society Weekly, a great FNM style vintage event on Magic Online that you should play. It's cheap, $6.50 for the month on Patreon to Mythic Society gets you access to vintage tournaments, pre-modern tournaments, set roulette tournaments. There's like 4 or 5 different tournaments a week, and just paying Patreon entry once for the whole month gets you access to all of those events. So it's super cheap, the cheapest, really the cheapest tournament you're ever going to find, and it's a great place to test out new decks, try out fun things, and play like a pretty casual vintage tournament on Wednesday evenings. So, tonight I have once again stolen a Matt Murray creation. This is Matt Murray's blue-black control list featuring Sedgemoor Witch. Sedgemoor Witch is kind of mentor light, uses the new Magecraft mechanic from Strixhaven, where you cast or copy instant and sorceries. You get 1/1 pests, which is sweet. I'm gonna probably talk about it more during the evening, but I think Magecraft is just perfectly suited for vintage. It's really, really strong in vintage. All of the Magecraft cards that are more pushed are playable. I'll probably go through that in a little bit. But one of the big reasons is Preordain, and one of the other reasons is Flusterstorm. Flusterstorm interacts so well with the Magecraft mechanic. Simply countering a spell where where storm counts like 3 is gonna get you big dividends when it comes to triggering Magecraft. There's some other cool things going on in this control build, like Baleful Strix and Yawgmoth, and some Matt Murray things. But I think it's really well built, and it's kind of perfectly suited for the kind of metagame that typically shows up at these FNM style events. Because whenever I try to play a cool artifact combo deck, I get run over by White Weenie and Archon of Emeria. So this should be good against Archon of Emeria. That's the bottom line here. So I gotta go find Abe because I don't want to keep Abe waiting too much longer here. Tournament practice room. I'm Sedgemoor Witch, and we'll play. I'll talk about a little Magecraft a little bit more in between rounds, but I think Magecraft is so good right now. So this is round 1. We're playing against Randy. We're playing against Abe. But not Abe, we're playing against Randy. That's not confusing at all. This is just like classic Jeskai, except we have some red elemental blast instead of pyroblast. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it's a budget thing to get into I don't know, some kind of mana trader's threshold or something. But it looks like a pretty straightforward Jeskai list. Well, let's begin. That doesn't have islands, so can't keep that. This does have islands, so we can keep that. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the Strixhaven cards, actually. I think a lot of them are very playable. And I'm gonna go over the ones. I'm gonna go over them because I'm brewing up a sweet deck for Saturday for everyone. I didn't qualify for the showcase, but I will still play the challenge, which I assume is still running at the same time. So Doomsday sideboard? What do you mean? Oh, in the Doomsday sideboard? Yeah, I think it's like way better than Tasigur. Like this does all the things Tasigur does, but better, right? I think Tasigur is like kind of silly in Doomsday sideboard, and this does a pretty similar job. All right, show me your secrets. Island, Fluster, Force, Fluster, 2 Force, 2 Fluster, Preordain Island, Red Elemental Blast. Interesting. Those are good. Not that I'm going to be able to resolve it successfully, but a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Opponent went bottom. Interesting. If I draw, I guess I know I'm not drawing a strip mine, but I would think so. I don't know for sure, Jacob. I don't play Doomsday, but theoretically, in my mind, it does a similar job, and I think probably does that job better. Like this stabilizes the board way harder than a Tasigur does, and then can also go wide and win you the game later. So I'm doing this now because I'm forcing my opponent to use a Force of Will on this. If they use a Force of Will on this, I'm going to match with Flusterstorm. They're just going to let it resolve. I guess that's fair. I'm gonna just slam Lotus Sedgemoor and do the same play. I don't play good deck. Well, I don't know. I'd rather just be the deck trying to beat Doomsday than being the Doomsday deck myself. I don't find Doomsday particularly fun to play, so. Does PO beat Doomsday? No, but it's, I mean, it's close. It's not like a super favored matchup one way or the other. I think you can build PO to beat Doomsday and it'd be pretty successful. I typically don't go too hard in that direction, but I'm definitely leaning more towards that way now. Like, to me, I'm always playing like 2 and 3 Flusterstorms in my PO list, and I think if you just go up to 4 Flusterstorms, things get a lot better. This is interesting. I think I would rather just wasteland this Tundra. Yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of things to get like super favorable against Doomsday, but I don't think you really need to do a lot of the things that you're saying. I mean, I think PO, like in its current iterations that I've built so far, is probably like only slightly behind Doomsday. You're doing really powerful things and playing a pretty vast counter suite. So this was a good top deck for my opponent. We'll just cast Preordain. Another Witch. I'll take another Witch. So I have a Sanctuary for Ancestral, which will be nice. I just have to play around this Red Elemental Blast. My opponent has no Force of Wills left because I made them use this one. So they have a Fluster, a Red Elemental Blast, and some other stuff. Interesting. That's certainly a reason we could wait in this Witch. I guess we should just wait on this Witch then. I mean, the problem is the Force of Will is pretty much always going to lose to Flusterstorm, Red Elemental Blast. But I almost don't even care, and I just kind of want to jam this. I also, Flusterstorm and Red Elemental Blast don't actually counter this, so. Yeah, I could fetch the 4th Underground Sea and cast Cling. Definitely something I could do. But I don't really think that that's like super necessary, Jake. Like, I'm gonna lose that counter war no matter what because we know what their hand is, right? Like, they have a Flusterstorm, we're going to lose the counter war. The problem with casting Cling now is that we don't get to Sanctuary this turn. But I don't think that's a big deal because we could just escape. So I think I would rather just cast this Cling to get a pest and keep clocking my opponent. I mean, theoretically, we could, I guess if we draw Force. So what would we want to force from them? So we can get another pest, so that's a 4-turn clock. Or we could just be able to counter like a Dak Faden, or if they don't draw a land like an Arcanist. Yeah, probably holding is better. Main phased recall to the top. Yeah, it's not an unreasonable line for sure. I don't hate that. You're probably right. We probably should have done that first. I'm just like it's pretty much impossible for us to ever resolve an ancestral, right? See if they counter this. It's kind of weird. I don't know. They did not count correctly. I don't think my opponent has too much of a chance to win this game. We're pretty far ahead. You're right, though. We could definitely have Sanctuaried on top and cast Witch holding up an open Underground Sea and then clung into it. Yeah, you're definitely right. We should probably have done that. I mean, you're not gonna win. Like, if you force, you're not gonna. That's not a win for you because they have a Flusterstorm that you know about. So, anyways, it's just a Jeskai, so maybe another Red Elemental Blast. Probably, maybe some Swords to Plowshares are coming in. Maybe Soul Guide Lantern. Depends on how they feel. What do we have? We've got... We could bring in Cage if we wanted to. We could bring in Soul Guide if we wanted to. Bring in Opposition if we wanted to. Bring in To the Slaughter. Kind of like To the Slaughter a lot, yeah. To the Slaughter and push. Cage is good against exactly Dread Horde. It's probably not enough. I think just this is probably good. Having a couple more removal spells is nice. I don't really see a need for like a Wasteland in this matchup. Maybe we can just cut the Strip Mine as well. Really just don't need see the point of having those. It's so seldom you're going to be able to like get them off of something useful. I feel like I kind of like the idea of a Soul Guide Lantern, but we already have a Cling. Probably just not necessary. Run like this. Well, you just have Delirium, and then they have to do both. I think this is fine. Yeah, which is similar to Mentor, but it functions a little differently. Doesn't clock as fast as Mentor, but it stabilizes a bit better. Yeah, I think every card that has Magecraft that is like pretty pushed is playable. I think Magecraft is a silly mechanic. Or silly, I mean, I think Magecraft is a strong mechanic, so really don't want this to resolve. Maybe I should pitch Brainstorm. Pretty lucky my opponent didn't have a Pyroblast there, but that is what it is. Well, if I can get to a swamp, I can cling something here, which will be nice value. All right. Well, I've looked pretty deep on Magic the Gathering cards, trying to find a land here. All right, sweet. So they have 2 Swords to Plowshares and a Polluted Delta. We're pretty far ahead right now. I think Chain of Smog combo is probably fine and totally playable, but I think like playing bad cards in your Chain of Smog is not like a very playable card on its own, and so I dislike playing combo cards that are not super strong on their own. By all means, I do think like the combo is pretty compact and it's pretty playable. Probably play some kind of bug deck, and the Magecraft guy that the combo is with is pretty just strong on its own. All right, so this should probably resolve, seeing as we know 3 of our opponent's 4 cards in hand, and it's pretty good value. Stops them from preordaining, draws us a card. Bling's been looking very impressive in this fair matchup here. Dreadhorde Arcanist is not the strongest card when you don't have things to do. My opponent did draw preordain for turn. I wonder if I'm supposed to just negate this. Kind of tempting. I do have to work through a bunch of Swords to Plowshares, so I kind of need to remove this. I don't really hate the idea of just negating this. Maybe it's too aggressive. We are 1 mana away from flashing back Cling. I think it's better to actually just Strix first. Too aggressive? I don't really think that's the case. Like, opponent's gonna get 2 preordains. I don't really think we want that. There's not that much that you actually want to negate. in this matchup. I like to board out negation a lot, actually. I don't think it's the strongest card. I was thinking about holding this Preordain so that I could get value off of the Witch, but I don't know if that's really worthwhile. Better than just using our mana now. Yeah, they're gonna Swords this Strix, so that's fine. Not too worried about that. Delta Preordain. I guess I'll take another Preordain. I guess the question now is, do I hold now? Like what? Like what am I like if they draw exactly Ancestral, sure, and they cast Ancestral on their turn because they want to flash it back with Dreadhorde, but I don't know. Like, we know their hand. I think it's more likely that they find Ancestral after they start casting Preordains, right? They just, like, by getting rid of 2 Preordains, it slows them down to an absolute crawl where they have to top deck a good card or they're going to lose. I think I'm just going to Preordain again. That's a great draw. I don't know. I understand why someone would say it's too aggressive, but I think it's perfectly within the range here of things that are worthwhile to do. Like, if they brick for even 1 turn right now, we're just infinitely far ahead. I don't think I'm going to cast this Witch until I have a better, at least a spell afterwards. I guess I did get rid of my Preordains for that, but I just know that they have double swords, so I can't really do anything here. Yeah, we're super far ahead. Are you crazy? Like we're incredibly far ahead right now. Our opponent's hand is unknown in Swords to Plowshares. They currently have no Preordains to cast back with this, so this is just a 1/3. I think we're incredibly far ahead. I don't really think there's any reason to drown right now, though. Question is, do I want to do it in upkeep? I think I do. They would have to draw on exactly Pyroblast or Negation on their turn for that to be bad. All right, so now we actually are at are allowed to cast these. Still don't really want to because of the swords in hand. Sure. I mean, that wasn't going to get countered by... that could have gotten countered by Drown in the Lock if I had chosen to keep Drown in the Lock, but that would not have been... Oh, that's nice, sure. This is definitely slightly unfavored because obviously Mentor is the best card in Jeskai. And I did use the Drown in the Lock on the Dreadhorde, which is, I think, pretty reasonable, but this is obviously a problem. I think I'm going to Flusterstorm this. Obviously, it doesn't actually counter it, but it time walks their whole turn. Oh, I guess I can't block still. I guess I'm not going to Flusterstorm this. Never mind. Still think we have to play at that turn, though. Yeah, we're definitely really far behind this Mentor's clock, but... Wish this did something. I guess we can theoretically cling. So that was kind of reasonable then. This is a bolt. All right, this is pretty good value then. This worked out really well. All right, so we are stable at the very least here. Opponent will have 2 unknowns. Top deck Ancestral or top deck Cruise. Top deck Cruise is pretty good. Yeah, Flusterstorm and Magecraft is insane. Very, very strong. Still think we are actually behind just because my opponent drew the Mentor. Obviously, Mentor is a lot better than Witch. Did they draw a probe? Yeah, I mean, we're definitely pretty far behind now, but it's still winnable. The only play that I'm questioning is the drown in the lock. It's like hard to rationalize holding. It's hard to rationalize holding on to drown in the lock because they have a mentor in their deck. All right, so they need to have drawn Pyroblast or Lightning Bolt or Gush for this to be incredibly bad for me. I mean, they wouldn't have attacked if they didn't draw that, right? Sure. Swords on my witch. All right, well, that's not good. I mean, they drew 3 swords to plowshares. I mean, I do have a lot of creatures in my deck, but that looks pretty bad here. I guess I can cast Cling and see if we draw something. All right. I mean, we did kind of lose the game by casting the Drown in the Lock, and maybe that was a mistake. I mean, we're not like going to. It's tough to say because we're not really going to beat the Mentor anyways, right? I guess the Drown in the Lock is the thing that I think maybe I went to. I still think the negation was correct. I like the negation play a lot. I'm just concerned that the Drown in the Lock was bad, but I didn't want the Drown in the Lock to get Pyroblasted if they drew for turn and found a Pyroblast. I really didn't want to get Pyroblasted was the problem, so I cast it right away, and it kind of ended up being the worst case scenario. This is just an Ancestral on upkeep, right? I don't think this one's a puzzle. I think this one's just an upkeep Ancestral. Maybe, I mean, there's some amount of overdraw possibility, but I don't know. Kind of think it's just upkeep Ancestral. Really would like them to force it. That's fine too. Drawing Black Lotus is the best possible draw in our deck, so. Sure. I am truly embracing my inner Zoomer with the yes, drawing Ancestral into Lotus. I agree. I don't have like the best counter suite right now in my hand, but there's definitely some argument to not going upkeep Ancestral there, but I think it's fine. Yeah. I think Witch makes the most sense. Immediate Preordain. Get value. Obviously, I can't protect from a Lightning Bolt, but don't think that's too big of a deal. I don't really want more of these. I kind of just want a Flusterstorm. Didn't find a Flusterstorm, so I'm just going to get another Pest. Jet. Cruise. I think both of those are good. Well, I would have to at least cast Negation to be able to cast Cruise next turn. Maybe Jet's not actually good. So I would need Jet to cast Cruise. I think it's okay, but I'm not. I still think the best thing we could have found was a Flusterstorm or a Force of Will. I mean, I think this Strix is fairly likely to get pitched to negation, but Swords to Plowshares. Maybe it's not. Maybe there's just no reason to negate this. I guess if we just say that our next turn is Baleful Strix, I guess theoretically we could. Yeah, I don't know. This seems good to me. Reb. All right, yeah. I mean, Reb is fine. It just still goes to my yard. So I think I just run into the next Reb as well. Because I'm probably just playing this. Oh, I don't have to use my. I don't think they have a daze. So I think I'm just going to save Ancestral then. In case this does resolve, then I can still get back Ancestral with Sanctuary. If this doesn't resolve, I'm going to play Sanctuary so I can play the Yawgmoth. Maybe this Mindbreak Trap was supposed to be used on the... Well, there was no time to use this Mindbreak Trap, right? Maybe it was the Mindbreak Trap supposed to be pitched the negation so that I could cast... I could cast Strix this turn. Maybe. Maybe I was just supposed to pitch this. I mean, I'm really hard casted at some point, so it's not like it's dead card forever. But I've never cast this card in my entire life, by the way. Still have not done it. I played at least a full league without casting it. It's pretty good on the board right now. That's for sure. I don't know. I wonder if this Mindbreak Trap was supposed to be a Baleful Strix here. Playing a Baleful Strix is a much lower cost than jamming an Ancestral into an open red mana. There was definitely some consideration to holding Ancestral and finding a point where I could play a Mindbreak Trap. I considered that. I just decided I didn't want to do that. I don't know if that's it's definitely a reasonable line to not be casting Ancestral in my opponent's upkeep and try to get him with a full Mindbreak Trap stack. But we also had a 1 land, so I kind of wanted to make sure we would have hit land drops. If we had just played Preordains, we might not have even made it to land drops. So, I mean, I think it's like normally a pretty good reason, Matt. But we just the way if our hand had 2 lands in it, I think there's no way I'm casting Ancestral. But our hand had we kept a 1 lander. I think I'm casting Ancestral in their upkeep. So. Randy said he had to be away for a second, so we're just waiting for Randy to come back. Excuse me. Oh, it resolved. Interesting. All right, well, we have a force still. We have Yawgmoth next turn, and we can actually play a Sanctuary, get the Ancestral back, sack a Pest, get the Ancestral, cast the Ancestral if we even want to. This another Mentor? Looks like another Mentor. Nope. Looks like a DAC then. Oh, a Teferi. Yeah, I would rather your Teferi not exist. Oh, Gush. Okay. Would have been a nice time to have a Mind Break Trap. The Gush turn, but... I just... No, I don't think letting Teferi resolve is a super strong idea. Losing a Pest here to cast and resolve an Ancestral right now? Yeah, I kind of like that idea. I guess I shouldn't show them Mystical for Ancestral before I do this. Because I'm not playing a playing around, playing around days anyways. Pay 1 life. That go. I didn't even get to use it! Alright, I was gonna draw Ancestral, and then I was going to draw... Okay. Not bad. My opponent probably drew lands off of Gush, I would assume. Because they have a 7-card hand. That sounds like a really good time, Matt. I liked it already a lot, so... Yeah, I mean, I think I played those games not stellar. I'm really concerned about the Drown in the Lock play that I made in game 2. I don't know. It could definitely still have been right, but that was definitely the play that felt like I lost the game because of it. And I still like the negation line. The rest was fine. The deck obviously plays really well in the grindy matchups versus like things like Jeskai, and Cling the Dust looked really good there. Okay, so here we go. Round 2, Mythic Society Weekly. We're now 1-0. I should probably update that. 1-0. We're versing David, and David is not on shops tonight. David is playing Hazar. Provoking Horror, Bloodghast, Root Wallace, Squee, control deck. It does. I think it does outweigh the extra mana sliver. And you're also forgetting Menace as a 3/2. And so like it's basically an unblockable 3/2. Gaining life is super important because a lot of the times you're trying to stabilize board states by playing cards like Young Pyromancer and Sedgemoor Witch. And a lot of the times in black, it makes it the 1 extra mana is not as hard to get around. So this hand sucks. It would be great against Jeskai, but it's not. We're playing against Bazaar. So we need to try to find our Wasteland or our Strip Mine. Obviously, Demonic Tutor helps us find that, but we don't have any way to accelerate this out. If we had like a Black Lotus in this hand so that we could go Demonic with some kind of counterspell backup, then maybe it would be worth it, but this is going to be a mulligan. I think I'm still going to mulligan this hand as well. I think this matchup is incredibly unfavorable in game 1 to the point where I'm willing to go try to find our strip mines. Okay, this hand's much better. We'll definitely keep. Mental Misstep is useless. This card is like way too much mana, so I guess we'll keep Brainstorm. And we're going to go with this. So what we'll do is we'll play turn 1 Time Walk, and then we'll untap and Demonic for a Strip Mine, which is exactly the game plan we want in this matchup. This matchup is really, really hard for a fair deck to beat, and the opponent's deck is actually fairly susceptible to the Wasteland. I guess it's actually possible that I was supposed to keep Mental Misstep because of Noxious Revival. Something I hadn't considered. Noxious Revival is a bit of new tech. Pretty popular in Bazaar decks these days because it's green and pitches the Force of Will. And it also helps you insulate yourself against Wasteland. Typically, Mental Misstep, not a very good card in this matchup, and a card I typically board out. But in this exact scenario where I'm going for a Strip Mine, I think it's pretty good. So this is a very strong start from my opponent, but it's not too bad if we can get a Witch into play after, so... I think I would like to fetch a basic. Yes, Force of Vigor. It's possible I'm not supposed to fetch, and I'm supposed to use the Underground Sea so that my Brainstorm later can be better. And that's probably the case. I didn't really consider that many turns ahead. I do feel that if we have our Demonic Tutor countered here, we will lose. But not much we can do. This is the most important spell. It did resolve, so I'm going to just go get a Wasteland. I'm going to play a Wasteland, and we have a game. Yeah, but I have to use the DT to get the Wasteland. I have no other game plan, chat. If the Bazaar stays in play, we have no chance of ever winning because we will get out card advantaged. All right, so they... See, I got punished. They had the Noxious Revival. So me choosing to bottom whatever I bottomed instead of Mental Misstep, or me choosing not to bottom Brainstorm, lost me this game. And we were able to pick it off right away, but it's just kind of something I did out of habit because it's just not ingrained in me yet that this is a card that we need to think about. So this game is very much over. We pretty much have no chance to grind out a Squee Bazaar. Double hollow one. But if we find a Witch very soon, maybe we have a chance. That's not even true though, because they have a Trampling Hogak. So no. It's not actually possible. No, answering hollow ones is not really necessary. If you have a Witch in play, you can just they just fog them forever. The problem is not hollow one. I mean that is the first thing we have to answer, but the thing that is the real nail on the coffin is this Hogak. I still think Misstep is a card I would board out in this matchup, but yeah, Noxious Revival. I don't. It's not like I'm playing 4 Wastelands. It's not like that's my primary game plan, you know. So I don't know. This one's on me. I was supposed to put the brain. It's really weird because if I get rid of the Brainstorm, I actually don't have a way to dig for a Sedgemoor Witch. I would have to have top decked a way to dig for a Sedgemoor Witch. So it's not even that great in that capacity. So it's a little awkward. But if my game plan is to Wasteland, one of their best game plans is to... I mean, their best game plan is to counter Demonic Tutor. They're much more likely to counter Demonic Tutor than they are to Noxious Revival back their Bazaar, but it is what it is. So we have Rav Trap. We have Surgical Cage Needle Lantern. Excuse me. Maybe we want just this as well. And then we want to board out this, 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 and dig? Gosh. Probably like that. Dig. I don't think that... The last one is probably up to your preference. I think we're pretty good against hollow ones, actually. It's possible that you don't even need Infernal Reckoning, because you have like all these Baleful Strixes. The big problem, like the number one problem is I need to get rid of their card advantage engine. I'm not convinced that this hand is going to be good enough. Card's not actually super strong. Kind of want to just mulligan this hand. I don't really see a line to victory with this hand. Yeah, I guess this is a bit better. Wait, why did I get this card? This card doesn't actually do anything, does it? Oh, they have Blood Gas and Prize Amalgams? Okay, that's good. I was about to say, this card doesn't normally do a lot versus Hollow Vine, but my opponent's playing Blood Gas and Prize Amalgam, so I guess it's okay. I'm gonna put this Baleful Strix back. Unfortunately, I am exposing myself to Force of Vigor, but I just can't beat that here, so... Oh yeah, they also play Hogak. That's nice. True. This deck has changed so much since the Hollowvine days that... And not a lot of people play it. It's a very small metagame percentage. Like 2 or 3 people are playing it. So it's definitely something that I continually need to probably do a refresher on. All right, so they have a horror with nothing above it right now. They were able to play 5 cards or 5 power. We are just looking for a land off of this preordain. We found a land, beautiful top. I don't actually have to play Time Walk here. I could just play Strix. I'm gonna fetch a swamp. Is that greedy? That's the wrong event tag. I didn't update it. It's 5725, Rafa. I boarded out Gush, right? No, I boarded out Dig. I still think it's fine. I'm gonna go with Baleful Strix. Not many people play Horror 1, but it's certainly a deck that people know about. This is gonna get forced, okay? Yeah, I mean, what do you want to do? Mulligan to 5? Like, I can't do much about it. My opponent has the agency. It do be like that sometimes. Actually, it does like that the most time because my opponent's deck is like one of the most controlling decks in Vintage. Thankfully, right now they found no Squee and no Horror. That was, yeah. All right, I played around that. All right, I feel good about my swamp. What the? Oh. Feel good about my swamp fetch now. Definitely puts us in a better spot than if we were to lose an Underground Sea here. I don't know. We're pretty lucky because this Cage doesn't stop Squee and it doesn't actually stop Horror, so it doesn't actively affect their card advantage engine. Oh my god. All right, well, yeah, that was the worst case scenario. My opponent forced my spell, forced my Force of Vigor is just needlessly broken, but that is how it is. Yeah, and now we're punished for fetching Underground Sea. Alright, well, maybe we just gonna get killed. This deck is so good against fair blue decks. It's incredible. I need to draw a land right now. Alright, drew the land right now. See that? I'm gonna go for the Time Walk to start. See if I can't get this Witch into play. The Witch will actually block the Root Wallow right away, and then it will start making things to block the Hollow one. Didn't make it. I don't think we're allowed to cast Merchant Scroll here. We probably need to cast Preordain. Yeah, I mean, they top deck. They top deck Mental Misstep. Yeah, no upkeep activation, which is incorrect, and then top deck's misstep, which should have been milled. I mean, it is what it is. Oh, at least they end stepped it. Oh, and they hit Hogak Squee. All right, I don't want to play anymore. You got me. What's this preordain look like here? Garbage anyways. We just didn't have too much of a shot. We just did not have a shot in that game, so it's just how it is. It's okay. I mean, even if you had gone the other way, Dave, it still would have ended very poorly for me. All right, we're here. Round 3 of the Vintage Society Mythic. I did it again. It's not the Vintage Society. It's the Mythic Society. Our opponent has got a sweet one for us tonight. Last time you saw them play 4 Horsemen. This time we've got 6 Gear Hulks. I don't even know what the red Gear Hulk does. I know I tried to brew with it when it was in Standard. Target opponent may have you draw 3. If they don't, you mill 3, and I take damage equal to the mana value. Ah. I assume Magma Opus has an 8 mana. Yes, it does. And Dig Through Time. But not Treasure Cruise. And 4 Workshops. And they're 1-1? Is that the true story? Nothing. That's the truth. It's the 1-1 bracket. This is what we do. All right, what do we got? What do we got? I've got... Where'd my deck was? Dead card. Fluster. This is like kind of a medium hand. I don't really want it. I guess Strip Mine can hit Workshop, but it's already a mull of 6, and it's not a really strong mull to 6, so I'm just gonna mulligan. Use my London. Yeah, this hand's much better. Yeah, I'm not sure how well Super's deck is going to run, as Mishra's Workshop doesn't really cast Dak Fadens and Narsets and the exile ability of, or the discard ability of Magma Opus very well. We'll see how it goes. In my deck list, yeah, Misdirection is Matt Murray is known as a misdirection gamer, so you'll find one of those fairly often in Matt's control lists. Oh yeah, XWell. All the Magecraft cards are much better than you initially will give them credit for. Let's see what opponent's up to. I assume they would hold the Mishra's Workshop until they're ready to cast Gear Hulk. Can't believe I just said those words. Yes, I did actually say those words. Man, I am jealous of the level of brew that my opponent is on in comparison to myself. Anytime now, though. Need more beer. Maybe I can run and get a beer before they play anything. Ah, I failed. But Shitty Lager was acquired. I think, which is sweet. What if I go Demonic, Black Lotus, Witch, Probe, make a Pest? I'm not going to do that because that play is hemorrhaging value, but what if I did? I might hold this Probe for the Witch, though. Possible. Misdirection. Yeah, I think I am going to just go demonic for ancestral. If I do that, maybe it's correct probe though. Also, maybe I have to hold up Flusterstorm. No, I don't think I need to hold up Flusterstorm. I'm just going to demonic for ancestral. There can't be a daze in the Mishra's Workshop deck, right? Woo, no dazes. What do I need to hold open Fluster for though? Rafa, like what card do I need to actually hold it open for though? I don't think there are any. Like theoretically, the best card they can have is Ancestral, in which case we could misdirect it. So I think I'd rather just get my own. It's pretty low cost to probe. Maybe I'm just trying to eke too much value. They did shuffle off of that Ponder and maybe blind drew the Lotus. Pass. I don't guess there's really no reason to force this issue right now. I'm gonna just play the Swamp and pass again, and then we'll look for a good opportunity to Ancestral with Flusterstorm protection. Or even Misdirection protection. There's nothing more than there's nothing better than opponent casting a spell, I cast an Ancestral, they cast a counter, and I misdirect their counter to their original spell, and it's all protected by Flusterstorm. I'm excited. It's a good feeling, chat. If you've never done it before, highly recommend. Still works. Force pitching force. So this needs 4 copies. Yes. That is a stack right there. Let's get a that's a quick one for Twitter, isn't it? Ooh, that was we extracted value. I would say we extracted value from that. All right, so how do we combat our opponent's blue red ear Hulk deck? Steel Sabotage? Actually, maybe. Steel Sabotage could work. Soul Guide Lantern seems reasonable. My opponent looks fairly weak to Grafdigger's Cage as well. Opposition agent. Trap. To the Slaughter seems reasonable. Surgical is probably too narrow. Cage might just not be necessary. I'm definitely interested in To the Slaughter, and I think Soul Guide Lantern is reasonable. Cage might be overkill, but Steel Sabotage kind of vibes with me in this matchup. Kind of down. So I don't know about Strip Mine Waste. I don't really see. I could definitely extract value from these wastelands. I just don't know if it's necessary. Gearhulk targets something, right? So I can eat it with Cling. That seems good. I need to cut 4 cards somehow here. I feel like at least the wasteland goes. Then We probably don't need this thing. And how am I supposed? Oh, push is a dead card. All right, almost there, almost there. Uh, they all look pretty good. Maybe we just don't need like 3 witches. That seems like overkill. Yeah, that's fine. You don't really need to win the game, right? You just need to draw more cards than your opponent. Oh no, I really am. I really am. I really am becoming Matt Murray. What happened to me? I'm losing my sanity and my soul. Yeah, you got it. This card is interesting. I remember playing this in Standard. It was a pretty fun Standard, if I remember correctly. I probably don't remember correctly. Was this a fun Standard? What set was this? Was this Lyrium? So this was the Ishkana set, right? I played this in my green-black Ishkana deck, right? I think so. That was a fun Standard. That was one of the best deck choices I've ever made for a Grand Prix. It was easily one of the best decks. I don't make very many good deck choices. That was easily one of the best decks I've ever chosen for a Grand Prix. Yeah, that was the green-black Emrakul deck. Yeah. Actually, probably have the link. Just in like the Justin one. How do they have this not coincide with each other? I don't know. Black green delirium. To the slaughter. I did play it at the Grand Prix. This deck was sweet. Ishkanaz, Gear Hulks. Illyri Familiar. Yeah. Yeah. That was a deck. I split that last round with Sky, I think. Though he did crush me for the split. Grim Flare. And it can't be Pyroblasted, so you never know. I'm liable to play any threat that can't be Pyroblasted. That is the key to my love and adoration as a Magic card. Is you are not allowed to be Pyroblasted. If you are unpyroblastable. All right, what's happening? I assume there's some deep thought to be had when your deck has Mishra's Workshop and a pile of blue cards in it. I'm sure it's not straightforward. Uh-oh. This is 1 mana short of a Torrential Gear Hulk. I guess that is also pretty good. I would like this to not resolve. Oh, it just didn't resolve. I see. All right, so my opponent's going to get Ancestral Recall off of this Merchant Scroll, and then I'm going to Demonic Tutor for a Black Lotus and put a Narset in play and say, you best be top decking Pyroblast. I should not have gotten a fetch land there. I should have gotten a basic island. And then my Narset will find me a blue card for my Misdirection, so then a Pyroblast is probably not even good enough. Does my chat room keep just disappearing for you? Is that what's happening, chat? I think it's a little greedy. I would rather just deploy the Narset than run the risk of anything else happening. I could, of course, try to go for a misdirection on the Ancestral, but... Alright, well, maybe I will now. Maybe I will now. They didn't have it before, right? Man. It's greedy, though. So greedy, though. I don't know. This Narset might be better than an Ancestral. That's the problem. That's the problem, though. I'm not actually convinced stealing my opponent's Ancestral is better than just keeping my Narset in play. I think it would be pretty unwise to not misdirect this Lightning Bolt. Narset is so unreal because it always finds you the card you need because 4 is infinite number of cards. True story. No lies are being told here. Take that Lightning Bolt directly to your dome, sir. Lightning Bolt to the dome. Nice. So they have 2 cards, and one of them is an Ancestral, which is dead with my Narset in play. You love to see it. I mean, that line is also sweet, though, right? I will elect to choose none of the cards. Thank you for asking. Chat, easy, chat. Come on. I think I'm gonna keep this, and then I get the hold open negation next turn, and Mystic Sanctuary for Demonic. Yeah, I think that's fine. I really did need the Narset to find a blue card, but you win some and you lose some. I have Delirium for my To the Slaughter, by the way. I don't know if anyone was keeping track, but I was. We have the types. The problem here is, what am I demonicking for? The minute this Narset dies, I'm in deep doo-doo. And if my opponent draws a Mishra's Workshop and plays Torrential Gear Hulk, Flashback Lightning Bolt, I'm gonna be sad. I guess I'm not super sad because I do have To the Slaughter, but close but no cigar. When your best is just not good enough. I will be very sad if I get Workshop Torrential Gear Hulks here, though. All right, so what do we got? Demonic Tutor. Survey says Ancestral Recall. Not unreasonable. Gush. Bring back my Mystic Sanctuary. Pretty powerful. That's kind of it, isn't it? I guess you could technically go for a Dig Through Time. Dig Through Time is pretty bad against Blusterstorm. I think Gush makes the most sense. And I actually think if I just play out my land first, I can't get flustered here. And then next turn we can just do it again, because Mystic Sanctuary, fair and balanced. You heard it here first. Maybe I should fetch now? Possible. Don't really want to draw any more lands. Not possible anymore because I passed priority. But if I get priority back, it is something I'm considering. Why is Mystic banned in Modern? Cryptic Command would probably be the correct answer to that question. Mystic Sanctuary is a completely broken Magic card. Horrible idea to make this card fetchable. Horrible idea. Oh, is that why? Yeah, I'm mixing up the word order, right? It happens. Hey, look, we found that dig through time that we were talking about tutoring for. Funny how that works. Should we continue playing around Flusterstorm, though? Kind of don't care, right? Yeah, let's do it. Let's play around. Let's play around tapping out for a Gear Hulk. Maybe that's not actually a good reason. Now they have Hardcast Force. Yes, this is a terrible reason, by the way, chat. Don't listen to me. Should definitely just cast Dig. All right, so let's just get rid of lands. And do I have a Yagwell? No. If it turns out I have a Yagwell, that's on me. All right, so they did end up with the full Hardcast Force because I waited, which is my fault, which we acknowledged was my fault. I did done goof. Yeah, so here we're just going to go Mystic Sanctuary Gush. What I need to do is draw the Brainstorm. But I can't just drop my Mystic Sanctuary Gush loop, so. My opponent draws a Pyroblast at any point. We are in trouble. Uh-oh, they have Gear Hulk. Oh no, they have a Gear. Oh, it's a, what the hell is this? I'm about to, all right, how much damage are we taking, chat? Can we get a estimations? Anyone have estimations on how much milling 3 and taking mana values? Because it's going to happen. All right. Survey says have %1% draw 3 cards. Well, you see, there's a thing about drawing 3 cards here, chat. There's a small detail that everyone, well, not everyone is missing. Most people know. I will allow %1 to draw 3 cards. And by draw 3 cards, I mean draw 0 cards, because Narset is a fair and balanced card. Also, sack your fucking Gear Hulk! It would have been really bad if that was a Torrential Gear Hulk. But thankfully, it was not. Alright, I'm going to Gush again. Thanks for... I have a lot of lands in my hand. Okay, well. Underground Sea. Pass. Coward? Yeah, slight coward. That %1 player did not draw very many cards. True. They can cast a Torrential Gear Hulk now, though, if they draw it. So things are getting dicey. I drew another island. Please stop. Maybe I'm just supposed to demonic for a Brainstorm. It can't be right? I'm not allowed to demonic for a Brainstorm. I have to keep gushing. It just can't be right. Eventually, the Gush will draw me into something that matters. It's the loops. I've demonstrated the loops. This is not allowed. Unfortunately, I didn't have 5 mana to hardcast, but... I will continue demonstrating the loops. No, they drew another Gear Hulk? Oh, no, it's a Force of Will. All right, the loops have been silenced for now, I guess. I mean, it's slightly unfortunate, right? We do know that one of the two cards in their hand is Ancestral. So they have Ancestral and one Unknown. Unfortunate. I have now developed the mana, just like we asked, just like we drew up. We've developed the mana. Look at that. God, I just want to please, or they do something bad before it all goes wrong. Gosh, for the 7,000th time. No, no, this doesn't do it. Yeah. I think I'm still supposed to probe. Even though it's gonna delay. I could just draw like anything good, right? I have to do it. What is this? It's a mental misstep. This hurts, chat. This game hurts. Okay? It hurts. Nope. You may scry too. Good try though. No, no, they went one top, one bottom. This is not good. This is not good. What is it? What is the guy to do? Oh, never mind. We're good here. All right, I would like to. I'm still supposed to gush, right? All right, whatever. I'm just gonna keep gushing until someone tells me not to. No, you have another counter spell? Are you gonna draw one card? All right, they're cantripping with their Ancestral Recall. Fair. Fair. They did draw one card there. And the card they drew is a Torrential Gear Hulk. Fair. And then you're gonna Lightning Bolt, or are you gonna counter this? My opponent is just outvaluing my Gush engine. No, they're gonna force it. All right. Okay. Sure. What is this madness? All right, Narset down. And so ends her reign. It was long. And there's the Mishra's Workshop. Brilliant. Brilliant. All right, so yeah, I guess I will draw Gush and cast Gush. No one could have seen this coming. It's a little late for this, is it not? Is it it's 5 damage. It's kind of an issue. At least I can counter the next Gear Hulk, you know? I'm dying, chat. We might just die. We might lose this game where we've cast 7 Gushes. Yeah, we can bounce the Gear Hulk and then counter the Ancestral. Can I have a Sedgemoor Witch? A Sedgemoor Witch. How about a Sedgemoor Witch? I did cut one. How about a Sedgemoor Witch, though? Like, I think a Sedgemoor Witch... Oh, God, are they going to Opus me? All right, I think I'm allowed to... I think I'm going to Demonic this time. I think I'm done gushing, chat. I think I'm done gushing. I think it's time to get a Demonic tutored. I think we're done gushing. I don't know if Gush is correct. Was Gush wrong? Was I ever wrong to Gush? I don't think it was wrong to Gush, but we did get wrecked because we gushed. No. I did just steal Sabotage a Torrential Gear Hulk in Vintage. That did happen. You were here, chat. You saw the whole thing. I feel like it was correct to Gush, but what do I know? Is this a Magman Opus? What is this? No, you would just hardcast that. They drew a Dig Through Time? think I'm dead. They. I feel like I have to go get one of those. The problem is, what am I even getting with this demonic tutor? Like, I'm not actually getting anything good with this demonic tutor, right? I wish I had a Yogwill in my deck. Matt, why don't we have a Yogwill? This deck has is perfectly reasonable deck to play Yogwill in. No, there's plenty of ways to win the game. Like, we have 4 Baleful Strix in our deck. we have, maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'll demonic tutor for Baleful Strix. God, I'd kill for a Yogwill though, right? Am I getting Magma Opused in my upkeep? Does look like that is happening. No. All right, this game seems winnable. This game seems winnable. I think we can still win this game, chat. I think we can still win. I think we can still win. I think it's possible. All right, ready? Demonic. We demonic. This is what's left in our deck. There are no more fucking lands left in our deck. I can tell you that much. I'm gonna get a Baleful Strix. That's probably worse than getting Ancestral Recall, right? No, I can't just die. I don't. If I cast Ancestral, what's the probability that I'd brick? Fairly not high. All right, hold on. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 bricks? 9? Are you guys counting 9 bricks? I'm counting 9 bricks out of 26 cards. 26 cards after we take one. And I'm drawing 3. All right, I'm in. Cowards can't block warriors. Perfect. Never didn't have it, chap. Okay. Narset Pro. Way. Wrong. 6. Land. Shit. I don't want to crack because of lightning bolt. I have missed up. Should be fine. Hey, look, chat. I hit those cards in my deck that do stuff. Perfect. I think we were good. I think we did it. That was kind of scary, wasn't it? We really waited till the last minute there. What do they draw? A Dak Fade-In? No. I guess, yeah. I guess, yes. Can't draw any cards this turn, though. They could steal the Baleful Strix. Okay. So I could just cling something here and quad block this. That's like way worse than just blocking with a pest. All right, so I think I can draw a card off of this cling and not gain life. Oh, that's a good one. Sorry, opponent. I would like my bird back. I even have Misstep and Cling to Dust flashback, right? Hell yeah, I do. Attack super, attack Dak, attack super. Cling has been so good. All right, I think we're good here. That was a wild ride. Oh no, is it a Gear Hulk? You drew the other red Gear Hulk? I'm holding open Cling to Dust, chat. I guess they're gonna draw 3. I guess percentage one is gonna draw some cards here. All right, that's one of the 3. Ooh. Oh no, is it Opus? No, they have 8 mana. They're gonna Opus me for lethal, but I held up the Cling. I'm so fucking smart sometimes. This is why you didn't play Baleful Strix, chat. This is why you didn't play Baleful Strix, chat. This Cling has been so good. I can't believe my opponent... Wow, I didn't think that was going to be remotely close to a game. I thought we were like so far ahead, and then we just didn't ever draw anything off of Gush. We drew like no cards that mattered off of Gush. We had to wait till the very last turn for it to be worth it. That's crazy. What a wild match. What a beautiful match of Magic. Was that the game 2? Was that game 2, Super? Oh. Okay, YouTube, you're looking at this deck list now because we ran into the 2-1 bye in round 4. This is because I need more players to play this tournament with me. So if you are a vintage player who play, or if you don't even have to be a vintage player, if you just play on Magic Online and you have the capability of renting or having a vintage deck, please come play Wednesday Night Vintage with me, Mythic Society Weekly on MTG Melee. I'd much appreciate it. This deck list from Matt Murray was a lot of fun. Very cool. We got to cast Yawgmoth for the first time ever, and it did immediately win the game without activating. I wanted to activate it, but they conceded too fast. Cling to Dusk was an all-star today, even if I didn't target the right thing in the last round. Whoops. And Sedgemoor Witch looked quite good. So another point in the Magecraft book, I think. I guess so. Yeah, why not? Who cares? 4 Flusterstorm. Pretty reasonable. So make sure if you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Help me get those analytics up so that more people can watch Vintage with me. And then hopefully more people will come play Vintage with me on Wednesday nights.